Welcome, children of light. If you're not sure if this channel or this reading is for you, maybe this passage will help guide you in the right direction. Don't force it to fit if it doesn't. Just know that this channel or this reading is not for you. For in a past time, lost in the space-time, the children of light looked down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond. Knew they that only by freedom from bondage could man ever rise from the earth to the sun. Down they descended and created bodies, taking the semblance of man as their own. The masters of everything said after their forming, "We are they who are formed from the space dust, partaking of life from the infinite all, living in the world as children of men, like and yet unlike the children of men." That is a reading from the Emerald Tablets. May it help you in your search for knowledge. This reading is it's general. Only a fragment, a word, a piece, a sentence may be for you. Take what's yours, leave the rest. And before we get started, let's take 4 deep breaths. This is not only to ground me, but also to ground you. I ask that you take these breaths with me and maybe open up your spirit just a little bit so that I can give you a good reading, see what needs to come out, and give you any advice that you're looking for. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't have any particular topic that I want to reach into today. I'll just see what comes out and take it piece by piece, bit by bit. Okay, there's one. And there's 2 that fell out. Well, there's one. The second one. You find your new beginning hard, but you're healing yourself through the difficulties. It's like every time you feel like giving up, you're like, okay, let me do something to regenerate myself. Let me rest. Let me eat. Let me drink water. Let me rest. Let me remember why I'm doing this. That's helping you create a more balanced life, a more balanced, I want to say spirit. You're no longer worried about what people are saying behind your back, what people are doing behind your back. You're trying really hard not to compare yourself to other people and their success, their abundance, their relationships. You just want to focus on what you got going on and never mind the rest of it. It's kind of, I feel like it's hard because there's always, I'm hearing that song. I think it came out in like the 80s or 90s, but it's always something there to remind me, or something like that. Something like that. I'm not a singer, but that's what I'm hearing in my head. But it's always something there to remind you of what you're not doing, what you're not succeeding at. Maybe there's a bad habit that you haven't kicked in the butt yet. And it's always something there to remind you of your failure, but you're pulling yourself back up out of it. You're always thinking, okay, it's not so bad. I'm proud of myself because at least I made it through the day. At least I got this done. It may not be perfect, but it's here, it's open. This is, I'm not sure if you see this as an emotional win yet. I feel like most of you do, but if you don't, you're going to start seeing it as an emotional win. You're going to start feeling like you have a certain joy when it comes to life. And it kind of relates to what the last message that came out in the last reading about enjoying your life more or living your life more fully. You're going to get to enjoy your life more fully once you have a bit of joy and not beating yourself up over small things, not comparing yourself to other people and other relationships or, whatever it is that you're comparing yourself to. Once you kind of reroute yourself and stop doing that, you are going to be more happy. You are going to be more fulfilled in your life. It's going to give you a greater quality of life. And I'm feeling there is a financial increase coming, but we get really hung up on the money. Pentacles are more than the Ten of Pentacles came out. That's why I'm talking about it now. We get hung up on pentacles meaning money, but it's not just money. It's also emotional happiness. It's also spiritual happiness, mental health. It's a good quality of life, and I'm seeing all of those things starting to not really align into place, but just kind of fall into place. It's not going to come in order. It's not going to happen the way you expect it to. In fact, you should stop expecting, stop trying to read into the future, and just kind of let things come. As long as you keep rerouting yourself, as long as you keep your eye on the prize, so to speak, then everything is kind of going to fall into your lap. Well, I won't say that. Because I don't believe that for children of light things fall into our laps. They fall and we have to catch them and make sure we're keeping an eye out, because otherwise like what happens when you're throwing a baseball and the person that you're throwing it at isn't looking. They might get hit with it. If we're not looking, if we're not focused on what's going on in front of us, then we're going to miss the fact that we are being blessed in some type of way. I also seen something today that was saying if you take 15 minutes out of your day at least 3 times a week to just feel gratitude, to just be grateful, then that will begin to change something within your DNA that will kind of, I can't explain it because I'm not really a scientific person, if that is science. But I can't explain what it does, but I know it gives you a better quality of life. It ignites something in your DNA to make you happier. So start practicing gratitude and keep your eyes open. You'll be led where you need to go. Don't fret about, oh, what's my next step? What am I going to do about this? Your only job is to take the next step. It's only to walk the line that's in front of you. You don't have to see 5 steps ahead. You don't even have to see 3 steps ahead. All you need to do is see the next step, and then you're good. You go from there. I am just feeling a lighter sense of emotional wealth, a lighter sense of emotional stability. You know that things aren't perfect. You really don't need anybody to tell you that, but it's really it's a play of the mind. The things that the people that you follow on social media, the things that you watch on TV, they have an effect on you. The music that you listen to, it has an effect on you. The thing is, you have to get it under control. You have to kind of use your discernment and like go through your friends list, go through the companies, the people that you're following, the content that you're taking in every day, the music that you're listening to. How does it really make you feel? What does it make you want to do? Is it bringing your vibration up or down? I can't really answer that for you. I have an opinion, but my opinion is irrelevant. You need to have your own opinion and base it on that. Everything should be done to to raise your vibration. And sometimes I will say that that within the media, on social media, there is a trap. Things are set in place to lower your vibration. and you have to use your discernment. You have to be wary of that. I'm hearing heavy is the crown. The thing is, it is within this era of pop culture that everybody says, I'm a king, I'm a queen. They label themselves as royalty. And while there's nothing wrong with giving yourself a pep talk, we need to make sure that we're doing the thing. If we're going to call ourselves kings and queens, then we really need to be making sure that we are exemplifying king and queen behavior, meaning that a king or a queen does not sit in the palace eating all the bread, all the cake, and watch their peasants starve. I'm going to tell you exactly what's coming to mind. I know that you guys recall this. I think you're old enough to, I don't have any babies here. In 2020, when everything shut down, for lack of a better phrase, the poor people were really left to fend for themselves. The wealthy, not all of them, because not everybody is the same, but there were a lot of the wealthy people who just were not paying the lower class people any attention. They sat on the hills and they watched from afar. They gave these fake messages of concern, and when quarantine was over, when all of this stopped, we went right back into following these idols, into worshiping them, so to say, into making sure we bought all their products. But if the world shuts down again, then we are still in the same position than we were in 2020. We are still going to be left to fend for ourselves, while the wealthy, the 1%, as they say, are still going to have all of their needs met. Now, I'm not saying look at it as, oh, rich people are bad, because they're not. Not all people are the same, and we cannot lump everybody together. It's very important that we don't do that. But you need to look out for yourself. You need to make sure that you're saving your money. You don't need all these name brands. You don't need the finest of everything. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. The thing is to, I hate to put it like this, because I hate the word hoard, but it's coming to me as in, build your hoard, protect your hoard. That's what I'm hearing. Communities have to come together. I will say that for some people, I'm hearing someone viewing X, well, where can I find my tribe? There's something about your perspective that needs to shift. What type of tribe are you attracting? Are you clear on that? Are you just like, oh, anybody will do? Because sometimes you can invite someone into your tribe that will betray your tribe. Now that is something that could happen anyway, even if you're really, really careful. And I hear somebody saying, well, why bother? Because you have to bother. That's what a king or a queen does. They need to make sure that they're evaluating and vetting each energy that comes to them. Will anybody do? Is anybody your community, or is it a certain set of people that you want to attract, that you want to gather with, that you want to, y'all get together and go buy farmland? Who do you want to attract into your tribe? You've got to change your perspective and stop inviting anybody in, because anybody just won't do, children of light. You may feel like it's judgmental. You may feel like you're being judgmental, or I'm being judgmental. Neither of those should be looked at like the way that I'm saying it. You've got to be judgmental. That kind of relates to what I was just saying. If you're a king or a queen, you can't just allow anybody in the gate. You kind of have to be judgmental. You can do it from a place of love. That's why you sit back and you evaluate and you vet each energy. You give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but you keep them on the outside of the fence until you're sure. Okay? You need to fight for happiness and joy, and you need to fight to smile just as much as you fight to be angry. Angry comes really easy, so I shouldn't say fight to be angry, but we do fight to stay in that mental state. It's like when you get mad about something and you come home and like your shirt snags on a nail like that. Well, I'll speak for myself, that nothing makes me madder than that, and that's just a sign from the universe. Ooh, get even madder. But it really shouldn't be like that. When you've already had a bad day and something snags your shirt or snatches you back, then maybe that's your opportunity to laugh. You should look for ways to laugh, because there are a million and one things to get angry about. There are a million and one things to solidify your panic, your anxiety, your distress. You've got to fight to be happy. And it's not a fight like bloodshed, fist, in your face, black eye, busted lip. It's not that type of fight. It's an open up. It's like, okay, I surrender. I'm done. Let me laugh about this. There was a children's story I read several years ago, and if I'm not mistaken, the name of it was Old Man Trouble. And it was about this old lady and I think her dog living in the middle of nowhere. And everything kept going wrong. The water messed up, the stove messed up, something happened with the clothes. And every time it happened, it was Old Man Trouble just coming to give her a hard time. But instead of her getting angry, instead of her latching on to her anger and her frustration, she just would laugh and say, well, I don't have to cook today. Well, I don't have to do the washing today. And I know that that's easier said than done, but if you don't do it, then you're going to stay in a state of panic and anger, and you're not going to be able to move forward. You're not going to be able to manifest the things that you need to manifest in order to bring about heaven on earth. There are two types of transformations going on right now. There is one transformation going on within you. You are changing. Your DNA is changing. Your body is changing. Your mind is changing. Your heart, your head, all of you. Every part of your essence is changing. Your body has to change to keep up with what's going on with you spiritually and mentally. So you are going through a rebirth. But so is the world. So is the collective, as they call it. So is everyone around you. Every person that you see is going through a rebirth. Now, how they're going to turn out, I can't say that. And really, you can't say that either, unless you're just extremely tapped in. And I don't want to doubt your abilities, because sometimes people know. Sometimes people are that gifted. But we don't know how this is going to turn out. We just know that everything is falling down so that everything can be built back up. And your state of mind, your perspective, the way that you handle things right now, that's going to determine how things turn out. And it's not just you. If you keep a clear head, which is easier said than done, I understand. If you keep a clear head, then you can keep everyone around you to have a clear head. You can gather your community and you together have a clear head. If we don't change our consciousness, then everything will be the same. I really don't know how to put it besides that. I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you for tuning in, and follow your own star.